Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's G from Happiness and Crafting. So today is Friday Freebie Day. I hope you've all had a lovely time off, a lovely holiday, lovely Christmas for everyone that celebrates Christmas. I've had a lovely time, really nice relaxing time. I haven't really done a lot of crafting because obviously you know I was poorly, so I've just left it. I'm feeling so much better now. So I thought I would come up with a lovely Friday freebie for you. Now Andy and myself thought we would do one for the whole year. So this Friday freebie, we're doing a calendar. Now I'm going to do it sort of like, give you a like obviously January's for now, and then we'll incorporate it into a Friday freebie each month, and then we can build up a journal. So everybody that hasn't ventured into the sort of like making a journal, I'm going to show you how to do it sort of like each month, so it's slowly, and it's a really good chance to sort of like build it up and get your confidence into starting making a journal. So this one is going to be you're going to get one of these each month. So obviously it's going to be January now, so this is January 2022. On this one I've just put new year, new chapter. And then we've got another January 22 on here. We've got all the numbers, so obviously 31 numbers in January, and I've got a little tag: the best time for new beginnings is now. And then we can pop a little something on the bottom there, so I've left a little bit of room. You can either write something or stick something on there. So I'm going to show you how I've started this. Now I'm going to pop this to the side, and we're going to actually start making this. So it's going to be a little bit of a longer Friday freebie today. So this is the one I've done. I've used my Shabby Chic backing papers for this one. So again, you can use whatever papers you like. We're making into a ring binder, because I think if you start out making a journal, I think a ring binder is quite a simple one to do. And you can take the pages in and out as well, and add what you want to add throughout the month, which I think is perfect. So I've made this one a little bit shabby. So I've popped the January 22 on the front. I've popped some little dingly dangly bits on here. Now these are the bits that the colours that I've sort of like used on the inside. So I'm sort of like trying to incorporate bits into it. So I've made a little pocket on here. We've got the little tag in the pocket. This is the obviously the calendar. So I've added a little bit of reinforcers on here, which was just a little bit of the leftover paper. I've decorated down here with a little bit of velvet and a little bit of lace. And then on the back of that, I do have another kit coming out, which will be in my shop, which is sort of like an add-on that you can add into this. So if you want to make it big, a little bit bigger, you can do that. And what I've done, I've printed one of them onto the back. So on this one, which we're going to do it in a minute, I've printed on the back. So when you cut this out, it doesn't look, it's not white on the back. And I've almost done it. I've got little dots on here like the bullet journal. So that's what I printed on the back. This one, I think it all depends how much you write in them. Now this one will probably be January, and then when we come to February, I will stick the February one here and the March. So you could have it this like a little shabby 3-month one, or you could have, if you filled it up, you could do one a month. It all depends how much you want to put in it. So it's great if you do like a little art journal page and you wanted to pop it in here, just pop some holes in it and stick it in here. You can add some photographs of things on here. So we will be adding to it as we go along, and I'll show you mine. So when we get onto February, I'll go through my January one, so you can get an idea. But I've just popped some of my pages on here. And then you just add to it, so you can add a February's in as well. So we'll get the gist of it as we go along, and it will probably change as well throughout the year, because obviously the things you've decorated this with you're not going to probably have in sort of like June or July. So it's going to be quite eclectic as well. So I think it will be really good fun to do. So I'm going to start now and show you how I've put it all together, and we're going to pop it all together. So we've got the January one. The main pages that I used are pieces of card like this. Now the card that I've got is, this is my tracing paper, and on the back is that hard card, so you can have that. It's on all sorts of papers, watercolor backings, anything like that. You can use cardboard boxes, whatever you like. So I've just taken the back of my tracing paper, my old one. So that's the back and the front. These are some of the ones that are going to be in the kit. So we've got special memories, birthdays, so you can just write down little notes on there. I've got the bullet journals on the back, so it's the paper with the little dots on. So that's going to go in it. I've got a couple of the plain ones as well, and I've got a couple of, I'm using the Shabby French collection, I think this one is, if I can remember. So I've just taken a few pieces of that, just 2 pieces, and printed on the front and the back, so that can go in. And then these 2 I've just printed on one side, because these are going to be covering the covers. So I'm going to pop those to the side. I'm just going to cut this out, because this is January's one, which I am going to be using. So just cut it out. You can cut it however you like. You can leave a little border around it. You can even, if you didn't want to use a ring binder, you can get a old book. You can get a little notebook and stick this into the notebook. Now let me just have a look, see if I've got a little notebook somewhere, and I'll show you what I mean. Oh, we've got a little fly flying around. Okay, so let's just cut this out. It doesn't have to be perfect, okay? This is the whole point. You can just have them cut out. You can rip around the sides. You can do whatever you like. Let me just see. Right, I've got a little book here. Now this is just a plain notebook. Now this was what, 55 cents. So if you're a real beginner and you still wanted to do this, get yourself a book. You can have a piece of scrap paper, not scrap paper, piece of digital paper, and cover the book. You can open it up, and then you can stick in your January one. Just stick it in like that. Write down, you can just mark off what you've been doing on there, and then you can stick things inside and carry it on like that. So you could have like 3 or 4 pages for January, and then you can stick February's in there. So there's all sorts of different ways. That's why I didn't make this too big. So you've got the option of sticking it into a little notebook or into a journal that you're already making, which is nice. Now it is, let me just measure this. I think it was 5 1/4 inches by 7.5 inches, which is, let's have a look, which is just over 13 centimeters by 19 centimeters. So it's optional, whatever you would like to do, but I'm going to make it into a ring binder because I think that is quite nice to do, because you can take things out and put things in. So I've got 2 pieces here. Now I have measured these, I have cut them, so this is 5 3/4, I think by 8 inches, which is in centimeters, it is just under 15 centimeters by just over 20 centimeters. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to glue these onto here like that. So I'm going to get my glue stick, because I will be sewing around the outside. Now again, this is optional, so if you don't have a sewing machine, just make sure you stick it on properly. Okay, so I'm just going to stick this down with the glue stick. Now again, use whatever glue you've got. Tacky glue, you can use, I think on my other one I used matte medium, so it really matters which way round that goes. So stick that onto there like that, make sure it all stuck down. I'm going to just cut it down It's quite simple. So, and then you need to pick whichever one you want for the front. So I think that's going to be my front cover anyway. And then this one will be my back cover. And then I've got a sort of almost a plainer one just to go on the inside covers. So let me just stick this. Okay, so this is quite simple to do. You just cover your card, your whatever you're going to use, a cereal box or packaging of some sort. I'm sure we all have lots of packaging after Christmas. So that's the front, and then that's the back. So that's how it goes. So it will just open up like that, and I think that's lovely. So that's our covers. Now I'm going to just pop and sew around the outside. Now my sewing machine does go through this card, but do check. I'm not quite sure. This is probably, it's not as thick, it's not too thick, but you can get different thicknesses of it as well. So just make sure that your sewing machine goes through it if you can sew. Right, I'm going to quickly go and sew that, and I will be back 2 minutes. Okay, so there we go. I have sewn around the edges on here, and it looks really neat, and I think that looks really, really nice. So let me just tidy a few of these little bits up. Again, they can be inked up, so I think it looks good. So that's the front, and that's the back. So that opens up like that. Now I have cut these. This one is just slightly smaller, so I've made obviously this a little bit bigger. I've made these, you don't know, you can use whatever sizes if you want them a little bit bigger. I've cut these a little bit bigger to this, but these are all the same size. So what we need to do now is put them all together, the ones that are the same size. I think I might put holes in this first, and we need to put our little ring binder holes in. Now what I did on this one, I believe, I'm going to take the back page out like this. I think I measured, so it's so much easier to take in and out, especially if you're a beginning of making journals. It's easier to do, I think, a ring bound journal, because you can take things in and out. If you make a mistake, you can take it out and do a new page. So what I'm going to do myself, I have measured on this one, so I'm not measuring it and doing it on this one. I'm going to show you. I measured 2 inches from here, from the bottom, and then 2 inches from here, and then I made the hole, and then I've made them go in sort of like a quarter of an inch like that. So we've got like just over 2 inches here, and then a quarter of an inch going in. Okay, but for ease I'm going to, right, so that's the front. I'm just going to mark it like this on here. I'm going to get a pencil and just mark a hole. I'm going to mark a little, get my crocodile on here and make a hole in these, just here. So we'll just do it on this first one, like that. I'm going to take, so that's the front and that's the back, and then I'm going to mark the hole here again, like that, and make the next hole. That goes in there, that goes in there. So they are in there, perfect like that. So that's our covers. Now these ones are a little bit bigger, so I'm not going to do these, but I'm going to do these. I'll do the first one, and what we want to put this in here, if I can do this correctly. So this has to be like this. Gosh, I'm fingers and thumbs, aren't I? So I want this in the middle, so just measure it so we're sort of level like this. So this needs to be in the middle, but right at the end here. Okay, and then turn it over and then mark like this. So you've got your little mark, and then what we need to do then is make a hole. One there, and one there. So that should be perfect, like that. And then all we need to do then is do them all together. So make sure we're going to have, you can have, don't have to be the same way round. Like that. Put all these together. Like that. I'm going to just go straight through that hole. Okay. Like that. And then this one. Like that. Perfect. And then these ones, which are slightly bigger, let's see which way round we want them to go. Make sure they are the same. Put these onto here. Level them up so they're level at the bottom. Turn them over. Mark our little hole. Punch that through like that. Okay, perfect. So that goes in. So we've got all our holes done on there, which is lovely. Now the little ring binder little clips here are, let's have a look. They are 1.5 inches. Okay, the ones that I'm using, they come in all different sizes. Or that is 37 millimeters. Okay, 1.5 inches or 37 millimeters are the ones that I'm using. But these ones here, which I've got here, are really small. These are a lot smaller. So I've got lots of different sizes. So that's 30 centimeters, which is about 1 2/8 of an inch on there. So it all depends how big you want it. But I've got the bigger ones that I've got because it depends how much you want to put in your journal. So you can always, if it ends up being quite small, you can change these for smaller ones. So what we can do now, let's pop these on here. I just want to show you. I'll have to take them off again because we need to decorate it, don't we? So these just clip on here like that. Obviously the January has to go in the front. You don't have to have these all together. That can go on there. That can go on there. And then we'll pop this one on the bottom like this. Probably doing it a very awkward way. I just want to show you how easy it is to do. Oh, and then we pop the January one on like that, and then this goes on, and then these just clip on. So there, we've got our little journal ready, ring bound journal with the calendar in. We've got the birthdays, we've got bits we can write on, we've got special memories, things to stick in there. Now again, this can go for 2 months, 3 months, just the 1 month, but we can just add to it. So add in as much as you like. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the January one out because we can decorate this one. Let's add a little bit, and then we can pop a little pocket on there, and then we can pop a January on there. So let's just decorate this. I'm going to add this one back to the back of my original one, like this. Oh, what I didn't do, which I forgot, is add the these little eyelet bits. Oh, glue everywhere. Let's add those, shall we? Okay, I've got some here. Gosh, let's do this. See, I'm all over the place today. Pop that to the side. Let's pick some of these. I think I'm going to just go for the little sort of silvery ones on here. They're sort of like matte silver, if that makes sense to you. I'm going to take this, which is already set to do these. Again, I've got these bigger ones. These are from Amazon. I've got links to these in my Amazon storefront. I know what, I'm going to just take these out. Let's just take them out and put them back in a minute. Let's do these ones. I put the outside. I'm going to take 2 more so you can see them from the outside, like that. And we're going to just clip those in there, like that, which is a perfect. So that's our front ones. I'll leave them out because we will be using those in a minute anyway. And we are going to decorate the front of this. Okay, now let's pop a little bit of ink around the edges to start, just a little bit. So again, I've done it in sort of like tea stain, because you can sort of like generally, you know, add all sorts of things. I didn't want to leave it white because that's a little bit boring, I think. I just wanted to be a little bit of tea stain, so you can make it vintage, shabby chic, however you like. So that's a little bit of ink around the edge. I have a few bits and pieces here. I found another little white one which we can pop onto the ring binder on the outside. I've got a little bit of lace which I was thinking might look quite pretty down the side, down here like that. So again, you can decorate it however you like. So that could go down the side. We could have, I quite like this. This is sort of like a browny pink. It's got like a pink tinge to it, which might look quite nice down there. I think I might add this, and then a little bit. I love this. Put this in. I love this velvet ribbon. Pop that down the side. I think mine will probably end up quite eclectic in the end. Got that. That looks quite nice as well, doesn't it? Let's have a bit of lace because I'm in a bit of a shabby mood. So I'm going to just pop a little bit of Fabri-Tac down here, because I will sew this as well. Just a little bit of Fabri-Tac down there. Pop that on, just so it sticks over the edge a little bit, like that. Just chop this off, and this little bit, so that just hangs over just a little bit like that, doesn't it? And then maybe I'll pop a little bit of pink down there as well. You can sew this on, but again, just stick it on, but make sure you use a good amount of glue if you're not going to sew it. Stick that down sew this in the middle in a minute, but the first thing I want to do as well, glue gun there, so that looks quite nice, doesn't it? But what I want to do now, before I sew that, I want to do the front. So we need to put the January on the front, and then I can sew them all together. So this is this bit here. So we want to, oh gosh, I think my scissors are a little bit sticky. Let's just cut these off. We will pop those to the side because we will pop those in a little pocket in a minute. We can cut out our little tag like this. Now you can back this tag to anything. You can make it, put a little hole in the top and make it is like a little dingly dangly tag. You can make it into a big paper clip. There's all sorts of ways to use these, and they can be used differently. I think probably I'd make something different out of them each time throughout the year. And then these little squares are like in a bullet journal, the little dots, you sort of like join the dots up and you can make an accurate square or a rectangle, or you've got a nice line to write across, so it all keeps it all nice and neat and tidy. So let's just cut out the January like this. I'm going to end up with 2 calendars, aren't I? So maybe I'll use one. Maybe I'll just do one. I really don't need 2. So, and this is just something for you to do for yourself. And I really do think it's good. A good starting point for new crafters or you lovely newbies out there that would like to start making a journal but find it a little bit sort of like daunting. This is a great idea to start. Now I've just got a scrap piece of paper here, and I'm just going to sort of like use it on here just to give it a little bit of different element on there. Let's just pop that there and we'll just ink this up. What should I do with my ink? Just a little bit of ink around the outside. So I can't wait to see what you guys do, what papers you use to do it, because there's so many different ways, and it's nice to have a calendar, isn't it? Just to look in. Now what shall we have under here? So we use this little white lace on the front bit, so maybe we could use a bit of that. Let's get a little bit of glue on here like that. Just stick that down. Chop that off. That can go on top. Let's have something else on here as well. Let's have a little bit of scrunchy lace. 2 pairs of scissors on the go here. Let's pop this. Let's just wrinkle this up a little bit. Or should we have it this side? Let's have it this side. Over the top, pop this on, pop that like that, and that can go on there. And then what I will do, I will just sew around it just to make sure that this lace is going to stay on like that. So I like that, and then that can just sit on the front of your journal like that once it's sewn on. And then again, so it depends how many of these you want to put in and how big your journal is going to be. So I'm leaving room. I can put January there, and then I can put another one here for February and another one for March, and if you do more or less. You can make lots of journals. You might even fit it all into one journal, in one to ring binder. All depends however you do it. So, and like I said, being a ring binder, you can add all sorts of bits and pieces to it. Oh look, shall we have a little bit of this on here? Right, I'm going to sew it first and then I can stick the other bits on. So 2 seconds, I'm just going to sew down here and the little January on there. So okay, so there we go. I've sewn around the 2 of these. So let's just cut these little bits off. We don't want these little bits on there. Like that. I've sewn it down there, which looks really nice. So that can go on there. This can be stuck on the front like that, which looks good. I'm going to stick it on with some glue stick, because then I know it's going to stay on there nicely. Just like that. Pop that down. Pop that onto the front. Make sure we are level. Like that. And then we can even have like a little dingly dangly off there. Perfect. Does that look straight? I think so. Maybe I'll pop some of these on. I can't go without putting my little rose trim on there. That looks pretty, doesn't it? Let's stick a little bit on here. Stick it that way. There we go. That looks nice, doesn't it? Okay, that can be saved for later. Now what I want to do here, I want to pop a little pocket on here, because on this one I have popped on the here a little pocket to keep the numbers in. Now I've got a tiny one here because these little numbers are quite small, and if I put them in there I'll never get the little single ones out. So I've just put them in there. These bigger pockets are all right like that. So I'm just going to use a little bit of tracing paper, which I have an extra piece here. So let me get my, oh look at this lovely Tim Holtz cutter that Andy bought me for Christmas. It is fabulous. Loving it. So I'm going to cut, what should we do? I'm just going to do 2.5 inches like that. So that's 2.5 inches high. And probably whatever that's going to be. We'll say 4. So it's going to be 2.5 inches by 4 inches. So that will just sit on there like that. I'm making it out of the tracing paper so that we can see what's inside, and then I can just have just a tiny one just to put, so what's going to be about 3/4 of an inch, I think. That's all. I wanted a little bit smaller, so I'm just going to do it 3.5 inches. So let's pop these bits to the side. Pop my trimmer over there. So we've done this one at 2.5 by 4, and this is 3.5 by, what did I say, 3/4 of an inch. So, and then that will just sit on there like that, just to pop the little ones into. So we need to put something along the top, don't we, just so we know. I think I might just use a bit of this scrap, or will this fit? That will fit. Let me get my trimmer back out again. Now I need this to be a 4. So this, and that doesn't want, so I want a tiny little bit just to sew along the top. So there we go. I can use one and the other one. So this piece can go on here. Let's pop this out of the way a minute. That piece can just be stuck on there, and that one can stick on the bottom. So I think let's just stick a little bit of this on. Like that. Just stick that along there. Again, you can use lace or anything, but I'm going to stick a piece of paper because that's a little bit harder, so it will make the top just a little bit stiffer. And then I'm going to stick this on, and then I can just cut it to size. Like that. Put that on there. I think I cut that very straight, but never mind. Let's just cut that little end bit off. So then that will be popped on the top of that one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to sew round the whole thing, and then I'm just going to sew this actually onto this pocket before I stick it onto the page, before I stick that on there like that. So 2 seconds. Okay, so there we go. I have sewn those together. A little bit messy, but it's okay. So again, you can make pockets out of lace or anything like that, but I'm just using the tracing paper. So that can go on there, and that will just sit on there like that to put the numbers in. So let's pop a little bit of Fabri-Tac along here to make sure it's stuck on properly. Like that. My sewing wasn't very good on that one, was it? But it's okay. So let's pop that on there. Like this, stick this down. Oops. A little bit of glue everywhere. Okay, perfect. So that's done. Let's just pop the lid on there. You can even pop your little tag in there, can't you? But this is for the numbers. Now these are the numbers, so I'm not going to cut them all off individually. You do that every time you want to write something in. So I'm just going to cut some of the white off like that, and then we can just cut them just down like this. Oops. And then pop them in the pocket like this. And again, same on this one. Cut them down just to sort of tidy up a little bit. Again, you can, if you wanted to cut them off individually, you can, but I don't think there's much point. Now if you, let me just show you these little ones. So if you have a couple of little ones like this, these can go in the little pocket, and then you're not digging deep trying to pick out your numbers from the bigger pocket. So there we go, that's that done. So where are we now? What I need to do now, we've done the pocket on there, we could do a little pocket on the front here to pop little bits and pieces in, couldn't we? So shall we do that? This is a bit of a longer Friday freebie today, isn't it? You can show I haven't been in my craft room for a while, can't you? So that's the front. So what shall we have on here? We could have a little bit of fabric to stick on here. Now on this one, I've sort of made the pocket a little bit diagonal, so because of the little hole there, I didn't want to get the fabric caught up in there, so I've just sort of like made it into a bit of a diagonal sort of pocket, which we can do the same, or you can just have a smaller one. But I quite like this fabric that I've got here. Now I'm going to, I think, have a diagonally one again. So if I go from sort of there to there, that makes sense. Let's see if I can cut that like that. I should have ironed this, but it's okay. Stick that down. We can chop that little bit off, can't we? Now I need to sew something along there. Shall we have the little bit of this, which goes with it all, doesn't it? Like that. And sew that onto there. Like that. How much do we need? So let me just quickly go and sew this to here. Okay, just so that's on there, and then we can stick that on like that. Or should we have some of this on there? All decisions. Now I'm going to go for this. Right, 2 seconds. Okay, so there we go. Let's just chop this off here. Like that. Not very good at sewing today. It's very untidy. But I'm going to pop that on there like that. And then that's going to be big enough to pop our little tags and anything that we would need to put in there. So I'm going to stick this side down first. I'm going to stick it on with my glue gun. Like that. For quick and for ease. I don't think that quite sewed on there. So let's stick that down. Turn it round. Let's go all the way along the bottom like this. Pull that quite tight. Then we need to go quite tight along here. So from, say, there down. Perfect. You can just chop that little bit off. If you're sewing it, you could actually sew a little piece of lace or something down there as well. But there we go. I like that. Shall we have a little bow on there? That doesn't quite go, does it? What have we got? A little mark on there. Let's just make a little bow to stick on. Like this. If I can. Gosh, I'm all fingers and thumbs. That didn't work, did it? That's dreadful, bow. Let's try again. Turn that around. And that's a little bit better. That's a little bit better. Let's pop that on there. Oops. Perfect. A little bit of glue on there. Stick you down. Lovely. And then that can go in there. That goes in the little pocket, and we can pop it all together. Oh, I've got little bits of glue everywhere. So, where are our ring binders? So let's start from the back. Put these on. That goes in there. That one goes in there like that. Now it doesn't really matter which way. Now again, you can decorate all these pages. Let's put a couple of different ones in. Like that. Special memories. We've got some blank ones. We've got some birthdays. And then we have the calendar. So obviously that one has to go at the front. These go on here. super simple and super lovely. Now I am loving it. Now it really is quite a simple journal as well, and you can just decorate it however you like. So we've got our lovely January calendar in there, so you can just mark off dates on here wherever you're going to be doing on those dates. And then on here, actually I want to swap that around because I put those in the wrong, because I might just do it on that one actually. Shall we do it on this one? Or yes, I'm going to actually turn that one upside down. Birthdays can go on here like that, and then what I'm going to do is cut out the number 1 if I can. Let's just take number 1 out. Okay, sorry about that, my battery just went. So I bought new batteries and they don't last very long at all, but never mind. Okay, so we've got the number 1 on here, so I'm going to just ink round the edge like this, just a little bit. I'm going to stick this on here. I'm going to pop just a little bit of fabric just to make it look a little bit sort of shabby underneath. Don't really need all of that, do we? So just like that, pop that on there. So on the 1st of January we can write whatever we did, and again, like I said before, you can write down on a scrap piece of paper and stick it on any paper. What have I got on here? This is some of my paper that I've got from my gel plates, so you can write on top of that and stick it on anything. Just make it look good. Just do it however you feel, because once you start once you start, it's gonna look nice whatever you do. Even if you've never done a journal before, just go for it, because I think new year, a new start, and just get going. And I think if you've got if it's just like a calendar, isn't it? So it's nothing that you have to really think about too much. Get yourself some nice papers, even if you've got just tea stain paper, an old book, anything. Just start, stick the calendar in and get going. So there we go, I've got number 1 on there ready for me to write down whatever I'm going to do tomorrow, which will be good, and then we can just build it up. If you can fill all of that in, fill it all in. If you've got lots to say, and then you just print them off. Again, I'm going to have the add-on sort of like kits on there, which is also going to have, I did have them here somewhere, which are going to have things like this on it as well. Whoops, upside down. So you've got little emojis on there and all sorts of things which you can pop in there. So it's going to be fantastic, but I'll give you a quick flip through of the new one as soon as it gets into the shop. So that's perfect. So there we go, guys, this is your Friday freebie. Please do give it a go. I'm absolutely loving it, and it's going to give us a project once a month to add into it, and I'm going to show you how mine's coming along, and I'd love to see pictures of how yours is coming along, and we can do it together. It can be very eclectic, you can keep it as the same theme, however you want to do. I'm sure mine will be quite eclectic, because I'm not going to have the same things I had in January as I'm going to have in August. So it's going to be really, really good. So you can have January, February and March in the same one. You can have all of them in the same one, depends how much you want to say, but you can fit quite a bit in there. Oh, let's just dangle some bits off the little the little clips here. So I've got a lovely little flower on here, so I'm just going to take a bulb clip. I'm going to just pop that through there if I can, clip it onto here. That's the nice thing about these ring binders. Look, you can dangle everything off them, and I love it. Let's take Did we have any more of that lace? Here we go, a little bit of lace. I'm going to just tie a piece on there, chop that off, and then you've got your little dingly dangly bits like that. How lovely. All sorts of things. So there we go, guys. That's your Friday freebie. That's the start of the new year for tomorrow. So you can start making it today, or have a nice crafty weekend if you can. And it's something that you can do throughout the month. There's no rush, there's no pressure to do anything. And if it's your first journal, it is a perfect start for you. So there we go, guys. Well, Happy New Year to you all. I hope you have a fantastic evening. Please stay safe, take care, have fun, and I will see you soon. Alright guys, bye bye.